on the one hand, I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Because I don't like the series. But then on the other hand, I'm like, is there something wrong with everyone else?
Hi, I have been absolutely craving series. The last however many months, I've basically just been reading standalones and I haven't really touched any of the series that I'm busy with at the moment. So they're lagging, they're behind, they have not been touched in a while. I used to always read, like, start a series and then read that series until I'm done. But because I've been so involved in the bookish space online, I've been introduced to so many books that I just want to read everything and anything. And so my series have kind of been left in the dust. I am currently in the middle of 7. I am in the middle of the Burning series by Evan Winters. I still need to read Fires of Vengeance. I am busy with the Locked Tomb series. I still need to read Nona the Ninth. I'm still busy with the Red Rising series by P.S. Brown. I've only read the first ones. Next up, I'm busy with the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. Still have 4 books left. Then I have the Death Note series. It's actually on my bookshelves. They're right over there. I need to read this specific volume, number 3 of these black editions, because it's not technically volume 3, but it's the third. Whatever. The third book of that specific one. I need to read Silent Snow. That series I read, where is it? Here, Carry On, around my birthday last year because it was one of my favorites, so I did a reread. But I haven't touched the other 2. I haven't read them. Okay, and because this is a series reading vlog, I do want to be clear that I am going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible. I do want to make spoilery vlogs eventually, but that's going to be with very specific reads. Or if I'm doing a video focused around a specific book, like walking practice, for example, like my previous video linked up there. So that I didn't really spoil because it's very short. So it's not, like, why should I spoil that? It's so short. If you're interested, read it. And, like, it's not that big of a deal. I have specific series that I want to get to in this video, the ones that I'm just in the mood for the most. The book I have already started is The Golden Sun. So that is the second book in the Red Rising trilogy, like the first trilogy. There's like 2 separate trilogies, but I've counted them as one big series. Ultimately, I could decide to not finish the series depending on how it's going. We'll see. Anyways, so let's talk a bit about the first book because I don't think I've ever reviewed it on here. Okay, so this is kind of a dystopian sci-fi story. We are following our main character, Darrow. The society that they live in is divided by colors, literally. Like, there have been some biological advancements where certain people are gold, like their hair is gold, their eyes are gold. Golds are the tops, the tippy tops. And Darrow, our main man, he's at the bottom. He's a red. He kind of learns a secret that the golds have been keeping from him and his people forever. So he decides, fuck you guys. And he's basically turned into a gold. So he kind of infiltrates the gold society. He goes to a gold, like, institute school to kind of infiltrate the golds and take them down from the inside. Okay, so that's what the series is about. I enjoyed the first book. I gave it like 4 stars. There was something about it that was kind of lacking, if that makes sense. Like, it was very interesting. I like the world, I like the concept, but it's very manly. I don't know how to explain that. It's a very manly series. I don't know how to explain that. Like, the characters definitely are misogynistic, and I can understand, like, that's okay, whatever, that's the world that has been created. But I don't really like the way that one of the female characters was being kind of used as a plot device, like as a way for Darrow to kind of to move the plot along. I didn't really like that, and definitely like the manly aspect of it all. It was all like, I'm a tough guy. I don't know how to explain this. Like, I can't give specific examples, but it's a very, like, manly, like, I'm a man type of series. So, there was that which made me feel a little bit iffy. I think story-wise as well, like pacing-wise, there was also a section of the book. The best way I can describe it is basically it feels like, you know, one of those war tables where there's all these like little figurines to signify the different like groups that are fighting, like war games basically. It just felt like someone was sitting down and telling me, okay, so these little figurines, they went there and they did this and they fought with this group, and then like it felt like that. It felt like someone was like literally it's just explaining quickly to me that they were moving in this way and they were doing this and yeah. I didn't vibe with that. I was just like, okay, and but yeah, so that just felt very telling, not showing. And I also kind of feel that way so far about generally the way that he writes romantic relationships. It feels very superficial. Like, I feel like Darrow has a stronger connection to all his broskies than the love of his life or any love interest. It just, I don't like the way that P.S. Brown writes romantic relationships. I don't want that to be a umbrella statement because I haven't read all his books. I haven't read what he can do. But specifically in Red Rising, and as I'm experiencing now in Golden Sun, I'm not vibing with any of the romantic, one of the side characters' romance or their relationship. It's a lot more impactful, it's a lot more emotionally investing to me than anything Darrow is experiencing. But I also don't really like Darrow, so that could explain it. And then there was something that happened at the absolute end. I hated the choice that Darrow made. Like, I hated it with a burning passion. I am now, I think, like 50% through. I wanted to share my thoughts with you guys since I was like 11% of the way through, but I just haven't had the motivation to film. My thoughts so far on The Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. It follows 2, I think, years after the events of the first book, and it starts off kind of very adrenaline pumping. I was like, I started this book right before I had to go to bed, and I could not sleep. Like, this shit got me like pumped. This book follows 2 years after the events of the first book, and I was kind of dreading that. Like I mentioned, I didn't like the choice that the main character made, but I like the fact that this book is not really going in any way that I've expected it to. Anything I have expected, it's kind of constantly shifting, constantly changing, which keeps it interesting. It keeps me kind of on my toes. I don't really know what to expect. My favorite character, around I'd say the 40-ish% mark, has finally showed up. He has my heart. He's one of the side characters, and he's my sweetie patootie. I love him, and I'm so glad to see him because, like, one of my notes around 11%, I was like, where is my little goblin? Also, especially in the start, like, everyone was insulting Darrow. Not necessarily him, but like everyone was just being very like our main character was catching strays, okay, and it was fucking hilarious. I like the dialogue. I think it's one of my favorite parts so far of this book. Like, the way that the characters are interacting with each other is just, it's so fun. Especially the beginning, it's kind of like eased up a bit because a lot of other stuff is happening, but especially there at the start, everyone was insulting this man. Not really everyone, but it just felt that way. And I was dying at these insults. Like, they were so funny. I was having a blast. Okay, and like I said, I don't really like Darrow, so I don't care that people are insulting him. I feel like I probably should be like offended on his behalf, but I don't care. I really don't. But anyways, yeah, so I am now 50% of the way through with The Golden Sun. Now, I know a lot of people like this second book more than the first book, and like there at the beginning, okay, there when Darrow was being insulted and I was having a fantastic time, I might have agreed. Like, it felt like a 5-star potential. And then it fizzled. We're gonna lock in, we're gonna get this started. Also, just a warning, I am kind of reading everything at the same time. Like, I'm technically reading 2 other books at the same time, which I will also be updating now, but you're only gonna see me, this specific version of me, later when we get to the sections regarding those books, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. So if you see me, this exact me, or similar me's, little twins of myself throughout this video, that's because this was not filmed in chronological order, because I don't read one book at a time. I read most of the time 2 to 3 books at a time. So you'll see me later. Enjoy.
So, with Golden Sun, I'm now at the last part. Let me tell you what's been happening. I have been considering DNFing. Not just this book, but obviously the entire series. I'm not connecting to the plot. I'm not connecting to the characters. Like, obviously, I still have my favorite character, Severo, but that's about it. Like, I don't know. There's a few things. So, first off, there was like this relationship, not romantic, but there was this relationship that was apparently built up over the 2 years that we didn't see. And I'm just now supposed to believe that this is a deep, meaningful relationship when I am seeing no evidence of it. Like, or not necessarily, I'm not seeing evidence. It's like I'm not feeling it. I wasn't there for this. Anyways, so there's that. And then that's just like one example of the characters and like the relationship building. And then there's another thing with the plot or the pacing. It's very fast paced, like stuff is constantly happening, but it's almost like every time, and I mean every single fucking time, I think we're going somewhere. Oop, no, fuck you. Fuck you for thinking that. Fuck you for thinking that for even a single fucking second. No, we're doing something else. Something else has just popped up. And I think that's making it a bit hard to connect with the story. Like, I understand having a twisty story. I understand, like, to a certain extent, like, you're not really ever going to expect what's going to happen in a story if it's written well. But honestly, this just feels absurd. It just feels absurd. I'm just like, it doesn't feel natural, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like, okay, this is a natural. Of course this didn't work out. Let's try something else. Or of like, I don't know, it doesn't feel natural. It feels very artificial. It feels very like this plot is being made by someone. And I know that's kind of the point. Obviously someone wrote this, but like I said, I have been really considering DNFing this, but because I was checking reviews, and the people that didn't like it, they liked the end. Everyone likes the end of this book. And now, since I'm at the final part, I'm going to see if it's true. Is the end worth my misery? Is the end worth the suffering? I don't think it's going to be. Even if the ending is good, I don't really see this being more than a 3-star. I'm not enjoying myself, okay? I hated that with such a burning passion. My goodness. I no 2 stars. There were, I'd say, lines that I enjoyed in this book where his writing could be like, oh, that's a nice line. That's a solid joke. That's a solid interaction. That's some solid bants. But the majority of fuck everything, it just felt so artificial, so superficial, so I'm still considering if I want to continue with the series. Like, the end kind of did interest me a little bit, but I don't think my overall reading experience kind of makes up for that. And the fact that I was so excited at the start of this read and it just continued to go down. Literally, when I was around, I think 50%, I can't remember. No, it was a little bit after that. I was like really starting to just hate reading this book. I was suffering through it. On the one hand, I'm like, is there something wrong with me? because I don't like the series. But then on the other hand, I'm like, is there something wrong with everyone else? Like, w- what? What? I'm a little bit flabbergasted that this is rated so highly by everyone. Literally by everyone. And the fact that I was told that this was a better book than book one, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Fuck, my arm's hurting. I have the unpopular opinion. So if anything about this series interests you, read it. Because maybe, like, you're part of the popular group and you actually enjoy this series. And I love that for you. But it's just not for me. And I was like, because I think I rated book one, Red Rising, 4 stars. I don't know. I'm wondering if the issues with this might have in the first book not, like, I might have noticed them, but they weren't, like, bothering me. But because they are issues that persist, it's like they were slowly attacking my walls until I couldn't avoid the glaring issues with this book. It's, I think, a fun series to read. I think it's is definitely very fast paced. And if you're someone that, like I said, if it's something that interests you, read it. But by golly gosh, I just ugh, I hated that. I hated that. I hated that so much. And to make myself feel better, I'm going to be listening to a bit of Dungeon Crawler Carl while playing Animal Crossing because I need some joy in my life. Okay, so I have a lot of chores to do today, so I thought this would be the perfect time to start with my audiobook read for this video, and that is The Gate of the Feral Gods. That is the fourth book of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I'll talk about the rest of the series later, but just wanted to inform you that we're starting. Okay, we're starting and we're going to be listening to the audiobook while we're doing a bunch of chores. Let's go, guys.
Okay, let's go.
Hello. Okay, so I've listened to about an hour and a half. So the series Dungeon Crawler Carl is about our main character Carl. He kind of gets entered into this dungeon reality show game that's controlled by aliens because they've taken over Earth. So they kind of use all the leftover humans for entertainment. Book one was like a 4 star. Was good. I enjoyed it. The humor was lovely. Book two, it went a bit down. I'm not gonna lie. It went a bit down from there. It wasn't as funny for me and I wasn't that invested in the plot. Like something just it didn't have that same oomph. Book three was like a 3.5. I think I made book two 3 stars. Book three had a comeback with the humor, but the plot itself was so unbelievably confusing, and I'm more a casual listener. I don't know, they use a lot of gaming terms. So he has like an inventory and he has like gear. So a lot of the times they won't really explain what the gear is, what their spells are, if because they've already explained it once. So it's almost as if like you're supposed to keep track and keep record. But with Dungeon Crawler Carl, I think because I'm doing audiobook as well, like I'm listening to it a lot more casually, so a lot of the information just kind of it flows, it doesn't stick. I'm just here for a good time. So with this book so far, I'm enjoying it. I like the setup a lot more than the previous book. Like that's why I wanted to mention the setup, like because book three was fucking confusing. The setup for this level, this stage of the game is a lot more interesting, and so far we are still having fun. There is humor. We'll see overall as we go. Ultimately, my favorite jokes are still the AI, like the AI notifications, the AI rewards. So that's where most of the humor kind of comes in. It is kind of a dark humor because you're kind of like laughing at this fucked up situation, but what can we do? And again, with the like not really being a casual listener, there's this like overarching plot that's happening kind of in the background with the aliens and shit. And because I'm again casual listener, I can't remember a lot, so I'm just like hoping most of the information will just come to me. I am quite deep in the series. I don't really want to spoil everything for anyone that is interested in the series, but I definitely recommend it. Especially the audiobooks, they're lovely. They make it so much fun to read and experience this story. And yeah, I'll check in with you if I have any other thoughts. Bye. I must say, I've noticed I'm not that big a fan of action scenes. Like, there's an action scene happening now, chapter 6, and it's going in one ear, out the other. I don't think action scenes are for me because recently read a book that was like literally just action. That was the majority of the book, and the action part of it was literally my main problem with the book. I really want to cut my hair. Never mind. We might do that later. Oh, like, because this isn't really my genre, if that makes sense. Like, this isn't a genre I click with, that I vibe with. It's fun, but this is not, I think, ever really going to be my like ultimate top one. I'm not sure. I can't discredit everything. I have read similar Chinese novels that have been translated, so maybe I just need to find the right book. So I'm here to give you my update for Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm almost 50% of the way through, I think. Audible does not give you the percentage amount that you're through. It just tells you the time you have left. So I don't know how far I am. Anyways, so I was thinking about the fact that I don't really enjoy action scenes. And I think that's also just like a general thing with me. But I think a big part of it is the fact that I can't visualize it. Like, I don't really visualize anything that I ever read. I just like keep a log at the back of my mind of what's happening so that I like I'm still aware of what's happening, but it's not like I can see what's happening. And I think with action scenes, they're supposed to be a little bit more exciting because you can, or you should be able to like visualize it. I don't know, but I can't do that. So that's like a no-go for me. And I think another thing with this is like it is quite repetitive in nature. Just it is kind of that leveling up the grinding. Anyway, but I'm still having fun. Like this, I'm still having fun. I still like the characters. And yeah, there's something interesting that's happened like right where I'm at right now, which has to do with like characters we knew from a few books ago, and it's already exciting, and I have no idea what they're going to do to fix the situation, but I'm looking forward to it. Hello. I haven't checked in with you guys in days. Days. Okay. I've read one and a half other books unrelated to this video, and I've been like slowly chipping away at my dungeon crawler car. I have about an hour and a half left, so I'm gonna try and finish that today. I just want to say I've been playing Stardew Valley while I've been like listening to it, and that's been fun. I started a new save because obviously I've never finished the game. Probably because I keep opening new farms and just hoping for the best. Also, look at my nails. I did these the day before last. They've already chipped. Like, I took a bath and that was the end. That they gave up. They gave up. I think I might redo them. I'm going to be playing Stardew Valley on my little Switch while I listen to the last hour and a half of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Some exciting things are happening. I don't actually know what's happening. This is a common, it's a storytelling technique that Matt Dinniman likes to use. He like will kind of keep secrets from you. So the characters, they have plans. They want to do certain things, but Matt Dinniman won't like reveal what's happening until the plan is like being executed. He does this quite often. Like constantly, I mean. I mean, it makes sense just with the content. Like he has to kind of surprise you and keep you on your toes somehow. I feel like there's something weird happening with Donuts, or I just don't know if it's because we are seeing a lot less of her like real thoughts, like because she's having to perform because they're like constantly being observed, like and they can't really share what they're really thinking. I don't know, it feels like something weird is happening with Donut, but I don't know if I'm just being paranoid or if that's something that's actually happening. And then I'm also quite concerned for Carl's mental state. I'm so interested to see how his mental state kind of deteriorates throughout the book. I know he has this saying where he's like, "You will not break me." And it's quite interesting, like something has to kind of give under all this pressure. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see if that kind of continues, if that is like further explored in the later books. And then what else? I think a little bit more of the politics are starting to come in, and I'm really excited. I think the next floor was that floor 5. That's where the hunters come in. So it's like people that like enter the game specifically to kill the crawlers, question mark. I do think the physical version has maps available, because I was googling for a map for this just to better orientate myself. I was like, hopefully a fan made a map, but then I found a map that was apparently on the Kindle edition of this book. I don't know, but I do think I might be missing out on some maps that would have helped, especially with the last book. But I'm not sure if there would have been a map because of how confusing it is. Like, that would have been insane to, like, draw. This is a personal, fun little thought. But I do kind of ship the AI and Carl. I feel like the AI is showing a lot more personality. Like, the AI has always kind of shown personality throughout the books, and it's always kind of been one of my favorite parts of the books is the AI announcements. I ship them, but I also recognize that their relationship would be so toxic, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But I don't think that would actually happen. I don't know. I'm enjoying the way that the AI is keeps kind of getting involved and like showing a little bit more of its crazy cookie side, because I'm like shipping a Carl and the AI. I was like, oh my gosh, imagine if there's fan fiction. And I was like looking up fan fiction, and like every single fucking one of them has spoiler warnings for book 7. And I'm like, what the fuck happens in book 7 that there needs to, like, that this is the pivotal like point where everyone's like writing fan fiction from that point. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What is happening? So that's made me a little bit more excited to get to that, because I'm like, okay, but what's happening there? What's happening? Yeah, I will be playing Stardew Valley. Oh, I chose a beach house for the first time, like ever. There's my little character. I am on day 27 of spring, so just in case you are curious. I finished. So, not much else to say, but I will say 4 stars. I'm really liking the direction that the series is going, and I'm like really hyped for the next book. I'm happy. I'm excited. So, now we're going to move on to this. I might read this while I watch some YouTube. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I still need to get ready and eat, and like I can't actually lie in bed the whole day because I have a life. Surprisingly, I have no idea what my reading speed is, especially when it comes to mangas. It's a complete unknown. Like I don't know how long this is going to take. Volume 3 of the Death Note Black Edition. So this includes, yeah, it contains the actual volumes 5 and 6 of the Death Note series. I wanted to kind of pop this into the video because it would be so fast. I hope. And I think this is my favorite arc. I'm holding it the wrong way. I think this is my favorite arc of the show. So I'm very excited to get this read. I'm this far. It's been not even that long. I think it's been probably like a half an hour. So I'm going through this actually really quite quickly, which I'm happy about. I'm having fun. I love Al, this little man. He's literally one of my favorite characters of all time. So I'm having fun. I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break now. I've been reading constantly and I really want to get ready and like kind of just like stretch and like move. Like I feel like I haven't done anything today. Well, I've finished Dungeon Crawler Carl. I've done something, but I just haven't really moved around a lot and I'm feeling it. Fuck, I should probably talk about the series if you aren't aware. So essentially, the Death Note is a book wherein if you write a person's name, they will die. I'd say the two main characters are Light, the person who got the Death Note and decided to use it to kill criminals, and then the other character is L, this little man on the cover. He is the main detective that is trying to figure out the identity of Kira. Kira is the name they gave the person killing all of these criminals, but we know as the readers that it's Light, Yagami. It's this big like mental battle between these two as um Light needs to kill, like he wants to kill Al, but he needs to find out his real name. And obviously Al is trying to figure out the identity of Kira, but he needs proof. So it's this battle of wits between these two. It's lovely. It's so much fun. Don't have anything else to say, and I'll probably see you when I'm done with this. Okay, bye. Yes, I'm on my bed again. I'm too lazy to move to my desk. You're not allowed to mention it. Anyways, I just finished this. It ended on a cliffhanger. What? Like because I know the story, I like kind of know what's gonna happen, but still, I was just like, I was in it. I was in it. I was like, okay, 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 and then it ended, and I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean that's where it ended? This is my favorite arc by far when it comes to the relationship between L and Light, just because it's very like interesting what happens in this section. But generally, like the story overall, I'd say like volume 5 was probably like a 3.5, maybe a 4. And like I actually quite liked like volume 6, like the actual volume 6, I mean, like not this volume 3, like the volume 6 inside this volume 3. What? Yes, you understand, I hope. Anyways, so yeah, I think that one I really liked. Like it wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be, but I think that's just because like I said, like I like this arc when it comes to the characters, so like with fan fiction and stuff, but actually like the actual plot itself not as up to scrap. Anyways, so volume 5, let's say, is a 3.5, and like volume 6 is 4, maybe 4.25. Anyways, overall, I'll give this volume 3 a 4 stars. I'm so excited to like repack it on my shelves now because I like having the books that I need to read as the front facing ones. So this one used to be the front facing one, and now it's going to be volume 4. Can you see? Can you see? I don't know if you can see. You can sort of see. 4 and now. And voila! And now it is Misa's face. I'm kind of sad it's not Elle's face anymore. When I'm done with the series, I might just put the one with Elle's face on the cover as the front-facing one.
Future/past me again. So the next series I'm going to be reading is the second book of the Simon Snow/Carry On series, which is Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. So let's talk a bit about Carry On first. So this is a kind of play on the Chosen One trope. It's a magical school. We have our main character Simon Snow and the love of my life, Baz. They are like rivals, so they hate each other, or Simon thinks they hate each other. Tee-hee-hee. I'm not really going to say much else about this, but this is a really fun read. It's one of my favorite books from when I was younger, but obviously now with the reread, I am older. This didn't quite hit the same way, but that's mostly because I'm not the target audience anymore. But I really like the characters and the story of this still. Like, it was such a fun read. I'm so glad I read this again and I got another copy. I have no idea where my first copy went. Well, I think I do, but I don't even know if it's existing anymore. It might still be with that person, for all I know. But I have a new one now, so it's all good. We're going to be reading Wayward Son by Wayward. We're going to be reading Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell, and this is essentially a follow-up. Like, this is what happens after the happy ending. What happens when the dust settles after the big final battle? Like, what happens then? I can already tell from the start that this is going to be a little bit more of a sad story. Simon, our main character, is a little bit more depressed. I can already tell the theme of this book is going to be like holding on to the past and who we were and not kind of accepting our new realities. I can tell because I am now, I think, at part 2. Yeah, it's like a section page. But I am now at part 2. So this is essentially a road trip story as well, and our main cuties are on the outs. They're struggling, okay? They're struggling a bit. I'm enjoying my reading so far. When this first came out, the reviews were quite low, and I'm wondering if that's just because this isn't necessarily the happy ending that people wanted for the characters, if that makes sense. Like, I'm wondering if that's like the main reason, or if there is something else that happens in the story to make it bad. That's why I was always hesitant to pick up the second book in this series, because I was kind of scared because nobody liked it when it came out. So we'll see. But yeah, it's a road trip story through America. Our characters are from London. They're from London, so they're doing a road trip through America. I don't know, I'm kind of quite hopeful for this. I don't know where this book is going to go, but I am kind of scared for their relationship, for their romantic relationship in this. Like, I kind of hope that's not going to be the main kind of tension in this book. I don't know what to expect when it comes to that tension. I don't know what this author is going to do with that tension. And that's, I think, the only thing that really scares me at this point. I'm very picky about my choice of conflict when it comes to romance stories, okay? Very picky.
So I am now, if you can see, around halfway through Wayward Son. There are a few things that are being set up, specifically with like Agatha, that one of the side characters, that I am just like, what is happening? Like, this is a road trip through America, and they are very unaware of the structure of magic in America. It's very different than in the UK. So they've kind of landed themselves in a bit of hot water because they didn't really know what the rules were. So I think that's going to be a little bit of an interesting conflict. One of the other characters, Penelope, who's with these two on their road trip, is she's a very logical character, and she's going through this situation where she's clearly very emotional, and it's like she doesn't really know how to deal with her emotions because they aren't logical. And I'm kind of enjoying her storyline throughout this. The relationship between Simon and Baz, I don't know what to expect. I'm scared we're going to reach a point where they might break up in this book, where they're not fucking communicating with each other. And I think that's what's the most frustrating, is like, if you guys can just talk to each other, we can sort this out. Those are my updates. I'm reading quite quickly through this, so I shall see you when I'm done with this. Life is good. I have a Coke float, which you can't see, and I've finished a book. Ultimately, this is going to be a 3 stars. I enjoyed revisiting the characters, and I mostly enjoyed the adventure that they were on. I was reading a bit of comments and I can completely understand why people didn't like this. It is a different tone. Like if you enjoyed the first book for the relationship between Simon and Baz, then like you're not really getting much of that. They are kind of really struggling in this book. But I think the main thing that I found fault with was just the fact that nothing is really resolved in this. Like a lot of the emotional conflicts that were introduced in this book, we haven't resolved them. And I think I mentioned it earlier, like it's mainly just the fact that these two are not talking to each other. And that's a very frustrating and annoying form of like conflict. We start out with like you're kind of expecting things to be different, and like this isn't going to be the exact same as the first one. But yeah, it does kind of leave you on a cliffhanger. Yeah, so that just makes it not just a cliffhanger, but like all the loose threads, it just makes it feel very like incomplete. I don't know. And someone was also mentioning it's like there's a lot of things that are kind of glossed over, like a lot of scenes or moments, especially between our romantic pair, that could have been focused on a bit more. Um, Especially because that's the reason why a lot of people read these books. It's for the romantic pair. But yeah, I do think I'm going to try and pick up the third and final book soon. Don't know if I'm going to make another series vlog like this or if I'm just going to read it sometime next month. I'm going to now continue enjoying my Coke float. Also, look at this mug that my mom got me. She got me this mug. Not because, like, I asked for it. She was like, which one do you want? And I was like, this one. This one. I'm packing the book away now, and like, as you can see, it's like significantly smaller than book one and book three. So I do think a little bit more pages wouldn't have hurt. Okay, so that's it. That's the video. So let's quickly go over all these series I have gone through. So here's the list of the series that I'm in the middle of. So in this video, I have read Golden Sun by Pierce Brown as the second book in the Red Rising trilogy, like the original. As you can see here, I did say I have like 5 books left because I was like including both of the trilogies. So with the way I'm feeling about the series right now, I don't think I'm going to get to the second trilogy just because I'm interested in the plot itself. I have decided to at least try out Morningstar, the third book. If I even slightly get the feeling of wanting to DNF, I'm going to allow that for myself, and then I'm just going to Google what happens. So we're going to change this to there's only 1 book left in the series that I need to complete essentially. And then I read Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. I enjoyed this, but I do think it takes on kind of a completely different tone, and I'm just not really happy with the overall story. Like, not as a story on itself. I am excited about the last book though. So for this one, I also just have 1 book left. Look at me go. Then I read the Dungeon Crawler Carl 4th book, so I have 3 books left. I read The Gate of the Feral Gods, which I gave 4.25 stars. Like, I'm actually really excited about this book. Comedy-wise, like, was fun, but like honestly, like the plot itself has become just so intriguing that that is kind of like boosting my experience with this. And then with the Death Note series, I now just have 3 volumes left. I have quite a few of the series left that now just have 1 book left, so I can finish a bunch of them, hopefully. So we'll get to that eventually. Thank you for tuning in this long if you've reached this point, and I hope you have a lovely day. Good luck with your reading. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!